Another pretty awesome trading week as we caught a beautiful long trade on the USDJPY. Let's get right into this week's Forex forecast. Starting the forecast off with the US dollar index weekly chart, you can clearly see here last week we talked about how we broke this low, just barely broke it, and we shot up some sort of support trap. But the most important thing is it is a lower low, so we do have that weekly downtrend indicated with this downward arrow. So just want to do a top-down approach first. We also have, if you look at the bottom left screen, we have a daily downtrend. But if we go over to the 1 hour chart, something significant has taken place. We had a pretty nice looking 1 hour downward trend here. Boom, we broke above the trend, and not only did we break above the trend, we actually created a pretty nice 1 hour trend to the upside, as well as demand zones being respected along the way up. So that is definitely looking bullish, especially if you're on a day trading time frame. However, that 1 hour trend definitely could come to an end, and here's why. Not only do we have a weekly trend and a daily downward trend, we are about to hit a 4 hour supply zone in a 4 hour downward trend as well. Is the supply zone amazing? Not really. I mean, it's not terrible. It is some sort of resistance trap here as well, and I think we definitely could break down as we contact this 4 hour supply zone, especially since we have a weekly and a daily downtrend as well on the higher time frames. That is definitely vital to remember, is the fact that the higher time frames are trending down like I'm drawing here on the screen. So it would not surprise me if this drop supply zone does in fact end up being respected along the way down. Now, what I'm a little bit nervous about is the fact that there's a trend line here, and from my experience, a lot of the times we will see spikes above the trend line, so it's definitely possible we spike above it and do something like this. But overall, I think that this upward momentum could be coming to an end due to that supply zone, due to the downward trend on the 4 hour chart, due to the weekly downtrend, due to the daily downtrend. And if we do continue to go up and we do see strength, then maybe, who knows, maybe we're headed all the way back up to 104. I'm not really seeing enough evidence for that for me to suggest that just yet. I just want to say that is definitely possible if we do create some sort of trend to the upside on the 4 hour chart. Yes, right now we do have a 1 hour trend. That is significant. However, we don't have a 4 hour upward trend. If we break above here, create a 4 hour trend, then okay, I'm going to have to change my opinion on the dollar, and I'm going to have to say maybe I'm bullish up to 104. But in the meantime, I am definitely thinking more bearish here on the dollar, especially since we are contacting that 4 hour supply in the 4 hour daily and the weekly downtrend. So expect to see some dollar weakness here in the next week. On to the forecast for the Euro US dollar. As you can see here, pretty nice weekly trend to the upside. Not looking bad at all, as we have a higher high formed here in that overall weekly trend. So not too bad at all. And the daily trend is actually a little bit more visible here, looking pretty good. Yes, the last 3 days have been pretty red on the euro. Where are we pulling back into? It's possible we are pulling back down to 1.09. Not seeing a ton of evidence to suggest that just yet. In the meantime, here are your options. We do have a 4 hour demand zone that is in control. It is below the trend line. As you can see, the trend line was broken, which created supply of 111. But it's a good little rally demand zone. It is definitely not bad. Yes, we did break the upward trend on the 4 hour chart, but remember, the daily trend is up. So yes, this sucks that we broke this trend, but since we have the daily trend, it makes me less worried about buying a demand zone in an overall daily trend. So we definitely could see at minimum the move from 110 back to 111 on the euro to kind of fill in, basically react from demand and push back up to supply. It's definitely a plausible option. I actually think we could even go higher, again, based on those weekly and daily trends. I would expect us to continue to go up, and this is maybe just a temporary pullback. So as far as trading options go, we could be looking for longs off this 4 hour demand. You could be on a day trading time frame looking for confirmation trades. That is fine. If you are bearish, the only way I would look for shorts is if we contact this 4 hour supply at 111. That would be a decent area to look for shorts off of. If not, let's say we don't push up to there and we break this 4 hour demand, any 4 hour supply, we could also look for shorts there. So if you are bearish, this is an option, and then that is an option to trade off those supply zones there. Those are really the only two options for shorts. Again, I do prefer the long trades off of the 4 hour demand zone. That's just me based on those based on the trends. On the 1 hour chart, we actually have a pretty nice 1 hour downtrend as well. So If you're day trading on a 5-minute time frame or a 1-minute time frame, you could basically also be day trading this 1 hour downtrend. As long as this 1 hour downward trend line is being respected, I think looking for day trading shorts is okay. But again, guys, I'm giving you both sides of the equation here. Again, I do prefer the longs, but I also see reason to looking for shorts, especially if you're a day trader with the nice 1 hour downtrend. But if we break above this 1 hour downward trend line, well, that could be a sign that the 4 hour demand is going to be respected, and then we could hop on long as well. But me personally, I will be looking for longs because I want to trade with the weekly and the daily trend, right? But I could be wrong, and if we break the 4 hour demand zone, the 1 hour downward trend line is being respected, then the shorts are going to be looking good as well. So really the best thing you could do, going back to the 4 hour chart, is waiting to see what happens at this 4 hour demand, 4 hour supply zone, basically basing your whole trading decisions off of these two zones here. And at minimum, you could be profit margin to the upside is at 1.11, but again, since the daily trends are up, we would expect price to go even higher. On the forecast for gold, top down approach here, beautiful weekly trend to the upside. We have demand zones being formed. Just beautiful looking trend on the weekly chart. We are kind of just chugging along, but the trend is better on the daily chart. Just very, very visible with the clear peaks, valleys, and higher highs. We have this daily demand zone down below. It is barely, not even really technically tested at 2470. If we do pull back on gold, I do expect this demand to still hold, especially if it is within this upward trend line here. So even if we do get a pullback, I think looking for longs in that daily demand is definitely going to be fine, in my opinion. As far as gold goes now, it is a tricky one to be trading, right? If you look here on the 4 hour chart, it is basically just a sideways mess at this point. We do have this supply zone being respected. We did break the upward trend line. That is why we had this supply zone there. So the upper trend lines, or sorry, the 4 hour supply is being respected. We actually could see price continue to go lower. At this point, I don't really like the idea of trading gold that much because I do not prefer to trade in sideways markets like this. I wasn't surprised to see 1 hour supply being respected here multiple times. We do have a new supply that was created at 2517. We could see a move off of that, but what I would be doing really only is this. If we break this low here, we will have a 1 hour downtrend, and then we could look for shorts on a 5-minute time frame to trade back down to that daily demand that I just pointed out. If we pull up to this 1 hour supply, I don't mind the idea of looking for shorts off that supply using a 5-minute time frame confirmation trading entry model. That would be okay as well. And as far as longs go, we need to, one, either wait for this to take place where we not only remove 2 supply zones and also a high to prove that the trend is going to be continued, and then any 1 hour demand zone there, we could look for longs off of like that. That is our option for longs. And if not, if we continue to push back down, then okay, longs are fine down there at 2470. So those are really all the options I'm seeing here on gold. A little bit tricky at this point. I'm not seeing a ton of setups. I do still prefer longs. Why? Because of the weekly and the daily trend, but we could be seeing a little bit of a pullback here on gold as we look to maybe push lower as demand was just removed. A little bit tricky at this time. Hopefully everything I'm saying makes sense. Any questions at all, if my analysis isn't making sense, please just leave me a comment down below. I respond to every single comment. On to the forecast for the USDJPY. The last week we did see this daily supply being respected, so that's looking good. We are getting a move up now. So if we do contact this daily supply again at 148.51, do I expect this supply zone to hold? Not really. It was barely tested, but it was tested, right? So we don't like to trade at tested zones using supply and demand. That's just me personally. So all the trading is really going to evolve around this 1 hour time frame. You can see my red circle here. What is that red circle about? Well, that is a demand zone trade that we took from the daily market breakdown videos for the diamond members. This was forecasted in the daily market breakdown videos, which is a forecast video that I released throughout the week. If you want access to these forecasts, check out the Diamond membership. Links are in the description down below. We have video lessons, a private Discord group, Sunday Zoom sessions, Sunday forecasts, and much more direct contact to me. So check it out. Links are in the description down below. We also have lifetime access available if you do not want to pay the monthly fees, which is not even too expensive anyway. So again, check it out. We'll be happy to see all serious traders join the team and catch trades like this. So as far as how you trade the USDN goes, we already had a beautiful move off the 1 hour demand. That trade's already worked out, unfortunately, for anyone who's not in the group. So do we really want to be chasing price right now? I mean, not really, but as long as this 1 hour trend line is being respected, and even on the DXY, the 1 hour trend line is being respected, we basically could be looking for 5-minute time frame longs. That is pretty much the only time frame. Even the 1 minute would be fine as well. I still prefer the 5-minute. That is really the only time frame I would be looking for longs off of because of the 1 hour trend, right? If let's say we push down here, let's say you take a loss in a 5-minute time frame, boom. Let's say we break the 1 hour down upward trend line and we have a 1 hour supply zone there. Okay, since the daily trend is down, then we could look for shorts off of that 1 hour supply zone. And this is the price action that we could see throughout the week. It's not happened now. That's why I do the daily market breakdown videos in case this does take place. But in the meantime, what I'm seeing now, it's longs all the way, especially on the day trading timeframes. Unfortunately, I don't have a 1 hour zone to point out for you guys because that happened on basically Thursday or Wednesday. So that's really it here on the yen. Basically all revolving around this 1 hour trend line. If it holds, continue to look for longs. If it breaks, I would hold off, right? Because remember, the daily momentum is down, so shorts are definitely preferred, but we cannot deny a beautiful trend to the upside like this on the 1 hour chart. So in the meantime, that's what I'd be watching here on the USDJPY. On to the forecast for the British pound, and let me know in the comments down below what your thoughts are on the pound. I will tell you guys my thoughts here, and we're going to start from the bottom up. I don't usually like to do this, but it will make sense. So we do have a 1 hour downtrend, so just think about this, right? If you're a day trader, if you were to pull up a 5-minute chart, this looks like this thing has been falling forever. And I mean, look at this 1 hour downtrend. It is not bad. If you are bearish, I don't mind looking for 5-minute time frame shorts as long as this 1 hour downward trend line is being respected. So 5-minute time frame shorts are okay. Here's why I'm not a huge fan of that and why it is just an aggressive trading setup, because yes, 1 hour downtrend looking very, very bearish, especially if you're trading a 1 minute, 5-minute, or 15-minute chart. But when we start to go up, even just one time frame up, the 4 hour chart, look at the trend to the upside, right? Okay, yes, this isn't looking great, but when we zoom out, look at what's taking place. It's even more visible over here on the daily chart. Look at this beautiful daily trend to the upside. Just pretty much looks like a temporary pullback on the daily chart. Now, am I bullish? Yes. Can I be bearish? Yes, I can. So like I said, 1 hour downward trend, it could just be temporary. If it's not temporary, this is the move we're going to see. Boom, some sort of 4 hour upward trend line being broken. And even yet, let's say we get something like this where lower lows are formed, then at that point, what I think we are going to see is a pullback all the way down to this weekly demand at 1.28, which I welcome. I cannot wait for, I'm saying it as if it's going to happen, but I would love a pullback down to that weekly demand zone. I think it would be amazing. So again, pullbacks down to this. If we create a 4 hour downtrend, then shorts are higher odds to the downside. Down to 1.28. Yes, we have a 1 hour downward trend now, but we really need to see a 4 hour downtrend to really indicate that, hey, maybe we are getting a weekly pullback and the next couple weeks are going to be red here on the pound. So to kind of summarize again, how do we trade this? Well, if you want to be aggressive, 5-minute time frame shorts are fine right now. To the downside, as long as the 1 hour downward trend line is holding. If, let's say, on the 4 hour chart throughout the week, we get a move like this down, creating a 4 hour supply, boom, we could maybe look for shorts off of that. If we create a 4 hour downward trend, even better. As far as longs go, what do we do? Well, going back to the 1 hour chart, for longs, we basically need to see something like this, where we break the downward trend line on the 1 hour chart, any 1 hour demand zone there, and boom, that will be our long trade like that. That is the first option for longs. And if we don't get that, then the next thing I'm seeing is the weekly demand for long. So we really need to see this downward trend line being broken here in the 1 hour chart to really prove that we are going to continue to go up. If not, then I think we could see some more bearish action. So it's really all going to depend on the 4 hour upward trend line and the 1 hour downward trend line for the time being. So again, if anything I'm saying is kind of confusing, don't hesitate to ask a question in the comments. On to the forecast for the USDCAD, and I am from Canada in case anybody doesn't know that, and let me know where you are from in the comments down below. So in the USDCAD here, the big question is, will we be pulling up to daily supply at 1.357? It's a beautiful drop-based drop. It's definitely an area where I think we could see it being respected. So that's the big question right now. As far as evidence goes to suggest that, I'm not seeing a whole lot of that take place just yet, because on the 1 hour chart we had this beautiful 1 hour downward trend line here, and look at this. If you zoom in a little bit, It's clearly, being respected here as price continues to go down. I will say this, if we break this upward trend line, then at that point, we will pretty much have a 1 hour trend to the upside. And then that is the evidence we need to suggest that we could be looking for longs on a day trading time frame. But in the meantime, how do we trade the USDCAD right now? Well, it could be 5-minute time frame shorts as long as this trend line is being respected. And that is really about it. If you want, we do have a 1 hour supply above at 1.357. It's not bad, but again, if we do break the upward trend line, I personally think the best bet would be to look for longs on the day trading timeframes with profit margin all the way up to 1.357, and then we could look for shorts off of that. This is the highest odds area for shorts at that daily supply. We're just not there yet, right? So in the meantime, as we basically want to just be focusing over here on this 1 hour downward trend line here. If it continues to be respected, we could look for shorts. If it breaks, then okay. Then longs could be good here on the USDCAD. Again, let me know where you guys are from in the comments down below. On to the forecast for the Aussie US dollar. We did see some downward pressure here in the Aussie, but overall, we do have a daily trend to the upside as we recently just broke this high. We do have a beautiful rally-based rally demand at 0.66 on the daily chart. So if you're a swing trader, I personally welcome a pullback down here. I would love it. I think we could definitely see a move off of it. I really, really hope we do get a pullback down to some of these daily zones where we can then push down. But obviously, waiting for this is going to require patience, which is all part of trading psychology. And I did just start a trading psychology podcast. Wherever you get your podcast, it is available on Spotify, iTunes, wherever you get it. So type that in, what you're seeing on the screen right now, into your podcast app and check it out. Have a listen. Give me 5 stars if you don't mind. Looking to grow the podcast, looking to make it into something big where I even interview beginner traders about trading psychology. So check it out. We'll be happy to have you guys listen to that. So I welcome a pullback down to that daily zone. Not a ton of evidence to suggest we are getting there. I mean, over on the 1 hour chart, we actually did break the 1 hour trend line here, and we actually created a 1 hour downtrend. So it is basically stage 1 of the evidence. So if you think we're going to get a pullback down to there, look, all the trading it would be on this 1 hour chart. Just focus on this 1 hour chart. If you are bearish, if you think we are going to get that pullback, like I was just saying, this would be our 1 hour supply zone short at 0.679. That is really the only area I would recommend looking for potential shorts. Remember, none of this is trading financial advice at all, but that is where I personally would short if I was. That is it as far as shorts go, except for we also have a 1 hour downtrend. So 5-minute time frame shorts are okay, but I do prefer the 1 hour supply zone. And you could even look for confirmation here on a 5-minute time frame would be even safer. As far as longs go, I really am only seeing a pullback down to 0.67, a nice little rally-based rally demand zone, beautiful move away from it. So that is where I would be looking for longs, just being patient, waiting for that zone to be hit. So that is what I'd be doing here in the Aussie, basically revolving around this 1 hour supply and this 1 hour demand. Let's say we don't pull back down to this 1 hour demand and we do something like this. Okay, then at that point, any 1 hour demands on there, we could continue to look for longs off of like that. But in the meantime, we have to respect this move down. So shorts are okay up here. It's just a little aggressive due to the daily trend, but it's not bad for potential shorts, and longs down here are good. And remember, short trades, it is counter trend, but it could be very, very rewarding. Let's say you get a short trade here with a decent little stop loss all the way down to the daily demand zone. You're looking at a over 10 to 1. So just cut that in half, just, to be a little bit conservative. Like a 5 to 1, 6 to 1, 7 to 1 trade is definitely possible if you can hold all the way down to that daily demand, because that is where we could be pulling back into. So definitely could be worth it in my opinion, although it's a little bit risky, like I said, because it is counter trend to the daily chart, but all your trading should revolve around the 1 hour time frames there on the Aussie US dollar. On to the forecast for the USDCHF. Remember, we do have a daily downward trend, as indicated with this arrow here. So things are looking very, very bearish. The last 2 days, however, were green here on the USD Swiss. So it is a little bit tricky right now. Just like the Aussie, all the trading is going to revolve around this 1 hour time frame. Again, shorts are better because of the daily downward trend. So if you are bearish, along with me, you have a nice little rally-based drop, 1 hour supply located at 0.8522. So if you want to be patient, wait for that 1 hour supply to be contacted. I think it could definitely be a good little area of 1 hour supply to look for shorts off of. Now, if you are bullish, we do have a drop-based rally demand zone and a rally-based rally demand zone at 0.844 and 0.841. So if you are bullish, we could see moves off of these zones. Remember, the daily downtrend, which the daily chart is our higher time frame. We like to use multiple time frame analysis here on FX Telepath. So the higher time frame is trending down, so longs are more aggressive than shorts. Remember that. But if you are bullish, we could see maybe some small moves off these zones where maybe you want to capture a little move like this. That's fine. I just personally think the bigger move we could see is off the 1 hour supply zone. It doesn't mean we won't see a couple moves off these 1 hour zones. So again, if you're bullish, zones down here are good, down there. And if you're bearish, which is the more conservative trade, then that would be our short at 0.852 at that 1 hour area of supply here on the USDCHF. Alrighty, last but not least, onto crude oil. We did create daily supply a couple weeks ago and a beautiful move off the supply zone, and we are pushing back into the daily demand. Now, this daily demand at 74.04, it is demand, but look at how much it has been tested, right? So it's definitely not a significant area where I'm saying, hey, we got to be careful about shorting here at all. Now, a couple options here. This is a tricky chart. I see reasons for looking for longs and for shorts, so bear with me here. I always like to give kind of both sides of the equation here for sure. It's not the best. I'm not even going to draw that downward trend line. But anyways, on the 4 hour chart, we are into 4 hour demand zone right now. So as long as this demand is being respected at 74.65, you could be on a 15-minute time frame looking for basically demand zones to be formed like that. Boom, something like that, to look for confirmation as we come off that 4 hour demand zone like that. That is definitely one trading idea that I'm seeing right there. As far as the 1 hour time frame goes, if you are bearish, which again, we have daily supply zones being in control, we have a daily downward trend. Technically, on a technical level, these shorts are higher odds. We do have a 1 hour supply up at 76.49. It is a drop-based drop supply that did break demand, so it is a good little 1 hour supply that we could definitely see a move off of. We do have a 1 hour downtrend as well, so 5-minute time frame and even 15-minute time frame shorts could also be good. So again, 1 hour supply is definitely not bad. We could basically see that move off the 4 hour demand. That's why I'm saying confirmation longs could be good. But ultimately, when we look at the daily chart, we have supply zones being respected and basically a downward trend as well. That's why I kind of do prefer the 1 hour supply above. So at 76.49, that will be our 1 hour supply. In the meantime, yeah, you could be looking for day trading longs off that 4 hour demand with profit margin up to 76.49. And let's say you get a little 50-minute day trade on there, you could hold up to 76.49. And then from there, you could just be at least moving your stop loss to break even, or looking to take 75% of the trade off of it, expecting to see a rally down off of that 1 hour supply there on crude oil. And if you guys want to watch the full length forecast with all the other markets, make sure to subscribe to the channel membership to get access.